Hello, Melissa Francis here, and I am going to show you how to make one of these. It's a lot of fun. It's with our new watercolor paints. It comes with our new watercolor tower. And this is new on our website, and I absolutely love it. I have to admit, it is very addictive and a lot of fun. So I'm just going to get right to it, and we're going to have some fun and learn lots of stuff, okay? So this is the Melissa Francis Watercolor Tower, and it's really cool. It's 36 paints, and the lid actually can even be used as a palette. So they all screw into each other, and it's really, really cool. I dropped this one the other day, so. And you just unscrew them like this. So the storage is awesome because they screw into each other. And like I said, 36 colors. And what we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to do a couple backgrounds. We're going to learn how to do this kind of background, and we're going to learn how to do this kind of background, as well as the one that I just showed you a second. It's kind of pretty well the same technique. So all you want to do is take your watercolor brush. Now we sell these. These are actually a water pen, and I like these just as a watercolor brush. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, it is a handle and it is a brush. I find when people are learning, they put the water into the brush and then they go to use it and they squeeze out too much water, and they're not happy with the project. So I like to use them as a brush and teach students to use them as a brush until they get comfortable with their paint brush water ratio, and then they can omit having to go in and out of the cup of water. But right now we're just going to be very rudimentary and learn right from the beginning of how to do it really easy. So all you're going to do is just take the water, and if you look at the samples here, most of the design is in the middle of the card. So we're just going to add a little bit of water, and we're just going to randomly kind of put it around the middle of the card. And then we're just going to add some colors. This is probably one of my favorite color palettes. You'll also find that some very complementary colors are on each circle. So sometimes you don't have to go to all 36. You may find a certain palette that you like. This is pretty close to one of my favorites right here. So you just want to bring it in, and you can just see, because there's water already on the card, you can mix the colors. I like this green color too, and you're just going to bring some water, more water and color in, and you're just going to blend it. One of the things that I find when I'm teaching this, a lot of people do is they do very much like quadrants, you know, like color this color, that color, that color, and they don't blend it that much. And I like to kind of bring the colors in, and then if you want to add some more water, you can kind of blend it out. Bring more color in like this, and you'll find that when you bring the paint on, it's just going to keep working to wherever the water is. It will go out to other areas, but you will find that mostly it will just blend and bleed into where the water was. So like that. And then if you want to add more color, you can still kind of come in and infuse color. You can also still bring water out like this. Now, this one you'll see right here, the colors are very muted and it's really nice. And if you like that, you can leave it as is. But our Melissa Francis watercolor paper is 120 cold press paper. I found when we were going to decide what kind of papers we were going to bring in, the 140, although it was thicker and it doesn't pill as much, it really, really warps, and it's harder to get your watercolor paper to stick to your cardstock. But if you find that it is pilling a little bit, that's fine. Just let it dry or heat set it, and then you can come in and add more color. But true watercolor artists, again, by no means am I, but I am learning, is that you can add more color. This is a different one, which is very similar to the one that I showed you. And this is like the first layer, and I just started adding color. So you can come in after it's dry and add more color to it and get more highlights. And just have a little paper towel, and you can come in with more colors and come in around and do stronger, more vibrant colors like this. And you could always keep adding more, and then dry and blend, and then add more infusions of color if you whatever you like, and just add more color to it, and just bring it in and blend. I don't know if you can see. So you can definitely, this is TV, so it's kind of TV, video. You can see how you can blend and add more color to it and mix and match. So you can see that up here. And yeah, well, it's very, very simple. You can do really, really pretty backgrounds. This is the one that I showed you before. These are also our new thin chips. They're really cool. They are chipboard, and they are super thin, and this is one of our biggest ones. We also have them super, super small. Look how tiny these are. And this one, look at the thanks, how tiny, tiny, tiny it is. And they look great on cards, and I'll show you some cards. That's another one with that technique that I just showed you with one of our Love thin chips. This is one with our Moments thin chips, and I love to paint them with this paint that I discovered at Michael's, and it's called Dazzling Metallics acrylic paint, and I love it because it works really well on the thin chips because it has this nice gold and silver. I get it in gold and silver, and it dries like in a minute, and I love the look. So here's another card I just want to show you that I did with the same kind of background, and then I did a stamp over top and one of our cute our cute charms you can see here, and our seam binding. If you're going to put a stamp on, you want to make sure that you use Stays On if you're going to add the watercolor on top. If you're going to, if you're all done, you're not going to add any more water, any more color, you can use a Distress ink. But if you're going to add anything on top, you definitely want to use a permanent ink. This, what I did is just sketched out with a pencil, and I just did that same kind of technique with different colors, and this is one of our thin chips, Celebrate. Now this is another technique, which is kind of the zigzag, and I'm just going to show you that one. It's a lot of fun too. So the first one is kind of more that kind of like really soft smooshing technique, and this one is kind of a zigzag. This one I don't add water to the paper. All I do is just bring in the color, just wet the paint, and then just start doing it like a zigzag color like this. Very simple. You can do it like this. You can go like that. You can do kind of a zigzaggy thing like this. Excuse me. Or you can do more of a flick, 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 flick like this. And then I'm going to add some orange to it, a little bit more of an orange. And then a little bit of yellow. Kind of bring in some more color. If you find your brush is getting a little wet, you need to add water sometimes to activate your paint, but then if there's too much water, you need to kind of remove some of the water. But you need to get the water in there initially to get it to activate, and then you just want to do this technique. You can come in and do a little more color like that. If you find you need some more, you can kind of come in and bring in some more. And it's very, very simple, just like that. And you get this really cool kind of background. And again, you can add one of the thin chips. This is one that I haven't painted, but you can just see kind of like, hello, is that adorable? And there's your card done like that really fast, and they think you're a wonderful artist. And that's another one I did previously. Here's one, I really love these two colors, and these again are thin chips. I just added a tiny little string. Really, really super cute. Also, we have wonderful stencils, and some of the stencils are really, really fabulous for doing cards through. This is a birthday cake stencil that we have. When you go to first learn and you're painting through the stencil, sometimes your paint to water ratio isn't so good and it bleeds. So what I tell a lot of students to do is just take a pencil and just draw out the inside of the stencil, and then and then watercolor in between the lines, and then when it's dry you can just take like a gum eraser and just erase the pencil markings. But you really want to make sure that it's good and dry. It's a lot like your nails, you know, when you think your nails are done, the top layer is dry but below it isn't. This is painting. What we did is you Stays On, and we did a stamp, and then we used the watercolor paint, then we did another stamp and just painted in on the one side. Here's another one that I did, which is done with trees. I'll show that on a later video, how to do that. It was a lot of fun. This, you really don't have to be a great doodler or artist. I just did really fun, just like hearts, and then I just painted in with the red. Super, super sweet. This is our cross stencil. And all I did was I took our cross stencil, just traced it out, and then just painted on the inside of the stencil, and then I used a Wink of Stella, a bit of glitter. Also, these little markings is an overlay. We do have an overlay for this stencil. I'm not sure where it is right at this moment, but you will see it on the website. It's really super cute, super cool. Here's another one with trees and the thin chips. God, I love these thin chips. And this one is Cheers. We have a Cheers stencil, so with wine glasses. And I did this one. It's just a kind of a free form. I'll show that on a later video with the Hello Thin Chips. This is the candle stencil. And again, just took a pencil and drew in the middle of that, and then just used different watercolors. And then when it was all dry, I just took the eraser. It's a great way to cheat. Nobody knows. This is freeform. Again, one of the really pretty little thin chips. And this is a Mickey one, which is super cute. We have that stencil. And then this one I just did, it's just some doodles I was actually inspired with. And I'm really sorry I can't give credit to the person that I saw this on the internet. This is my version of it. It was easy to do. Just a little bit of doodling and then just concentrating on the flowers. And I can show that on another later video. This one, all I did was just take a photo pen, kind of like Sharpie, and then I just drew kind of branches, and then these were just kind of like dropped in little paint droppings. It's very, very easy to do. And then this one was kind of a smooshy background. And then this one, if you see, the flowers are very bleeded out. That's because I wanted a bled out look, so then I did then paint through the stencil, so that they weren't defined flowers. It was more kind of, you know, airy-fairy. We also have palettes in our new line. We have canvases. We have the aqua pencils, and of course these fabulous paints from the Melissa Francis Paint Tower. That's what these are. I love how all you do is screw them back together again, and how they store very simply like this. And they are on sale for $9.99. It's a great deal. Wonderful way to get into watercolor painting without breaking the bank. And please come back and see some more videos. And if you like this video and want to see more of what we're doing here at Melissa Francis, coming from my studio here, like this video, comment, definitely visit the website, www.melissafrances.com, and always look across the banner. Sometimes we have some coupons and some specials, and we look forward to seeing, or I look forward to seeing you again. Like this video, comment, and we'll see you again. Take care. Bye now.